How's it going, guys? Anxious Cynic here, and today we got a little bit of a surprise, something that most of the people on the channel probably didn't know about, but over on the Discord, we ran a winter wallpaper themed competition, or compilation, or contest, whatever you want to call it, and I've been meaning to get around to doing this video for a while, but I have neglected it because I've been busy with other things, as you may have been seeing on the channel. So there's not really much of a prize or anything like that, but basically the way this is going to differ from the weekly compilation of animations is we're going to show like some of the runners ups, and then we're going to pick a winner of the one that I thought was the best in terms of representing the theme, but more importantly just was a cool and like good looking wallpaper. Just whoever used the best lighting and posing and things like that to make their wallpaper pop. You know, something that you might actually want to have on your desktop background. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at the runner-ups, and then we'll get to the winner. So as you can see here, the first one is by boltedjames, and I really like the idea that he went with here with the kind of like selfie and the people in the background having the snowball fight. You got a guy on the sled there, another one's building a snowman. And I don't know, I guess that's me doing like a snow angel or something. I can't say I'm all that familiar with everyone's skin in the community, but I think these are some of the Stream Team guys' skins. But don't hold me to that, and sorry for anyone who's offended that I don't remember what your skin looks like. And the next runner-up is by crazycreeper. Kind of a similar shot as what boltedjames gave us, but obviously a lot more people in the scene, a lot bigger scene. And I thought this one did a pretty good job of just kind of representing winter as a whole, like everyone outside playing in the snow. Of course, I live in an area where it hasn't snowed in like almost 30 years, so I don't really know what that's like. I know what people generally associate with it. Don't judge me! Anyway, overall, I thought this was a pretty decent representation of the theme. The one thing I would say is that the lighting could be improved in terms of at least some contrast. The scene is kind of washed out a little bit. I know it's supposed to be winter, and maybe that's kind of a given, but just a little bit more contrast, maybe some extra lighting on the background in the buildings or something like that, or maybe even just increasing the fog a little bit would have kind of edged it into a little bit more of its own style and theme rather than looking sort of washed out. Following a similar trend, we've got mineshaftanimation submission, which is all the people from the server, I think, out and about in the snow. We got the puppy there with, I think, Bean Dream skin. And we got the snowman back there. You got a villager looking at everybody like, wow, what are you guys doing? And you got the dago like snowball throwing, all that kind of stuff. It's interesting that, you know, so many people seem to kind of have a similar idea, but I guess that's kind of what you get with these common ideas of like what winter is to everybody. Overall, I think the quality of this one's pretty decent. I would say, however, that the background, the little, I don't know if it's snow or what, it's so bright, it's kind of overblown, and it really kind of distracts from the scene. So what I would recommend is kind of bringing in that lighting and that contrast a little bit, whereas crazycreeper's was somewhat washed out and not contrasty enough. I would say this one's kind of got an overblown contrast to where it looks so blown out and so colorful it kind of doesn't look like winter. It almost looks like a hyper stylized summer scene or something. But overall, it's got the theme there, and I like the posing, and the lighting is actually not too bad. This is by the collies stalks, if I'm saying that right. And I like this one because it actually goes with a whole nother theme. Like, it's not, you know, a winter as in everybody out playing in the snow and stuff like that. You've got this truck with a blade on the front. I don't know if it's just like a truck that has it or if it's supposed to be like a, you know, an actual snow plow kind of thing going on or whatever. But you've got like the character sitting there with the shovel in his hand and he's waving at the snowman. So I feel like if you live in a snowy area, this might not be that uncommon of a scene. And it kind of is a different take on winter of like what it's like to experience it in a different way. One of the things I like about this one is that it has depth of field, and it seems like the lighting is kind of meant to be like dawn or dusk or something. What I would say could improve it is maybe something in the foreground, like maybe having the camera kind of peering through something, maybe a little bit of grass or something on the bottom left corner or something, so that it doesn't look quite so clean and isolated of a scene. And maybe ease up on the depth of field a little bit. I do like it, but it is a little bit blurred out in the background such that it probably could have eased up to where the houses and things were a little more visible and it didn't look quite like such a macro shot, if you will. And the final runner-up for this one is gonna be Nimi's submission, which is quite the dark take on it. I thought was kind of interesting. You got like the lake or whatever it is iced over, but it's thin and it's dangerous, and Steve has foolishly walked over there with diamond boots on and fallen in, and now he's got Alex over there trying to help him. And I thought this was an interesting take on the theme. You know, like you saw with the other submissions, you think winter, so you might think like, you know, people out in the snow or all things with snow and stuff. So it's cool to see that he went with like an ice theme and having something that a lot of people might actually be afraid of happening if you live in an area where water ices over like that. So definite props for that. Most of the elements of this one I would say are pretty spot on. I would say maybe just personally that the lighting or maybe even just some color grading could have improved it a little bit, making it pop a little bit more and kind of have a little bit more style to it. Maybe even some particles of falling snow like some of the other submissions did. But still overall it nailed the theme, and I thought it was an interesting scene with some good posing. Alright, so those were the runner-ups, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you liked those submissions there. And now we're going to get to the winner. And here it is. This one is by Gamers Lounge 3, and I really like the way this one is done. It's obviously a lot different than the other submissions we got. It's kind of the modern human's perspective of winter from, you know, a realistic standpoint. You're sitting inside, you're reading a book, you got the fire burning. Obviously there's zombies out there frozen in the winter snow. So I really like this one with the contrast, the theme, the lighting is kind of spot on. You have a lot of things going for it. The one thing I would say is that some depth of field would have enhanced it just slightly to have a little bit of a blur on that background back there. Now, it is kind of dark. It's hard to tell. Maybe there is some, but some of the details in the background look a little bit too sharp. But besides that, I thought this one was a really good take on the scene with good lighting. And overall, just a nice little scene set up that's interesting to look at and pleasing to the eye. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for the winter wallpaper competition or compilation or contest, whatever you want to call it. If you're interested in participating in this for yourself, then this is something we're actually running exclusively on the Discord server. So I'll have a link in the description. You can feel free to check that out. If you want to see the full images of these dang old wallpapers and stuff, they'll be posted on the Discord in a little post that I'll make for it, where you can click on them and even download them maybe if you want to. Thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was something kind of interesting, a little bit different. If you like this video, feel free to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe to become a citizen today. Share it with your friends and your family and your pets, and be sure to leave your suggestions for future themes if you want to contribute in that way. And that's it. So thanks for watching guys, and I will see you in the next video.